Lake County has a population of just 64,000 people, 75% white according to the Census Bureau. But the percentage of minorities in the Sheriff's Department is even less, and these current and former officers say that's leading to a serious problem, racial profiling.
This is a good old boys network run amok, is what is the Lake County Sheriff's Office is.
They're targeting people that, just because of their color. It's totally wrong.
Kip Ringen left the department after 27 years because of it. Francisco Rivero is still there. Brian Landy left after a year and a half as a rookie cop.
And what I was being told here is that pretty much under any circumstance, if I see Mexicans, I should stop them.
Landy says racial profiling was part of his training and that discrimination was commonplace.
On an almost daily basis, you would hear deputies refer to people they believe to be Mexican, whether or not true. Didn't matter where they were from, but based on their skin color, they would refer to them generically as Jose's, and not as kind of a friendly colloquialism in a derogatory way.
Dan Noyes from Channel 7. I need to talk to you, please.
Lake County Sheriff Rodney Mitchell did not return repeated calls for an interview, so we caught up to him as he headed to work one morning.
Good.
This is not the right location.
No, that's all right. Well, you didn't return our calls.
That's true. Meet me at the office.
Yeah,
you can follow me there.
Absolutely, we will. Thank you.
When we arrived at the sheriff's office, Mitchell told us he's launched an internal affairs investigation into the complaints.
Does the department have a problem with racism?
I do not believe that we have a problem with racism because that's a broad-based term. So isms, anytime you throw in an ism at the end of it, is pretty far-reaching and broad-based. But I'm not going to tell you that we have zero problems with any issues because we haven't finished our investigations.
The officers who spoke to the I-Team say Mitchell is sending the wrong message to his deputies. Take a look at the poster hanging outside the sheriff's office. A member of the San Diego Sheriff's Department is pressing the bloody face of a suspect into the pavement. The caption, "Forethought, think about the consequences before you mess with a deputy sheriff."
I thought, well, this is Lake County. These guys are yahoos. They obviously are not very professional.
Nick Falloy is a public defender from another county who went on a ride-along with the Lake County deputy sheriff last year. He says he watched one sergeant treat Hispanic suspects roughly.
And at that point, I just remember seeing, grabbing the guy by the arm and kind of like, pulling him up, towards the front of the truck to push him into the cab of the truck and slapping him on the back of the head, just like with an open palm.
If it is true, then the law enforcement officer deserves to be held accountable, period. That would be highly inappropriate conduct if it's true.
Mitchell's own officers say the department often breaks the rules meant to prevent unwarranted search and seizures. For example, at DUI checkpoints, deputies are supposed to pull over cars at a set interval, every third car, for example. But they say deputies would pull over everyone who appeared to be Hispanic.
I watched a deputy, as a car was coming up, look into it, point at it, and say, here's a no licencia, we have a Jose.
That same night, several sources tell the I-Team officers arrested these 3 field workers for disorderly conduct involving alcohol and took them for what's called a screen test.
They also stuffed all 3 of those individuals into the back of their patrol car and purposefully took corners at excessive speeds and hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes so the men in the back of the patrol car would slam their faces into the screen, separating the front and back seats.
I heard it the very next day. They were bragging about it at the Lower Lake substation about how much fun they had watching the Jose's squirm in the back of the car as they drove recklessly to the county jail.
And the people in the back are quite uncomfortable bouncing around.
Did a current member or former member of my department tell you that?
Yes.
Please tell me who that is so that we can investigate that allegation.
Right.
That is a very serious issue.
Mitchell is facing other serious issues, including deputies being targeted by fellow officers because of their disability, their sexual orientation, or their race. From those who complained about the conduct, we've heard reports of retaliation. Sergeant Kip Ringen told a superior about the slurs hurled at Francisco Rivero.
And tells him that I've been called, amongst other things, a wetback. 4 hours later, he is on administrative leave. They took his badge, they took his gun, they took his ID.
Is that how it happened?
Pretty much.
Rivero and another officer have filed discrimination complaints with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. As a result, the Lake County Board of Supervisors ordered an independent investigation.
Any accusations of racial profiling and discrimination would concern us as Board of Supervisors.
Why?
Well, for one thing, it's against the law, and for another, it's county policy to treat everyone fairly and with respect.
Should people be concerned actually driving through Lake County? From what you
Yes.
tell me.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes. Unequivocally, yes. I am here because I have to be here. I have no choice. This has to stop.
It's not right, and the citizens of Lake County deserve more than that.